first two episodes on Putin's story, we saw how he managed to revive Russia after the Soviet Union fell apart following the events following the fall of the Berlin Wall. Good morning, everyone. This is Shattered. I am one of the self-generated voices to discuss these topics, and if you are interested in these topics, I invite everyone to subscribe to the channel. Returning to Putin, however, we see that he is not so much interested in economic development. His first objective, in reality, is another, more focused on geopolitics than on economics. He wants to lay the foundations to make Russia a hegemonic superpower, capable of competing with the United States again as in the days of the Soviet Union. In short, to make Russia regain its role as a full-fledged superpower. Economic development is only functional to this end. Thus, on the strength of the excellent economic results during his first term, after many companies had been privatized in the previous government with the Yeltsin, he decided to nationalize a large part of the companies in the sectors considered most strategic, in particular companies related to energy resources, the military, and the banking sector. To do so, he must first clash with the oligarchs. Putin manages to overcome this obstacle very easily. Here, the state takes back control of the pillars of the Russian economy so that it can manage them according to strategic choices. Not only that, it creates new sources of revenue for the state, thus making possible the policies desired by Putin to lower taxes, without having to reduce public spending too much in addition to nationalizations. Then there is another point in Putin's ideas. He wants to weigh Russia's importance in gas and oil exports to regain lost strength. Foreign countries that import energy assets from Russia become in some way dependent on it, according to him, given the importance of energy assets to the domestic economy. Therefore, it is important for him to allow strong exports of gas and oil to these countries. Putin's primary goal, however, remains to increase Russia's geopolitical power. So in 2009, together with Foreign Minister Lavrov, Putin decided to make the BRICS a real organization among states. He wants to put Russia back a strong coalition capable of competing with the West. Putin, in order to pursue his strategy of domination, begins to use weapons. There had been the Second Chechen War on Russian territory. He had participated in the UN military initiatives in Kosovo, at the time also alongside NATO. There had been a brief conflict in Georgia in 2008 in support of Russian separatists in some regions in the north and northwest. In addition, he will participate in several wars by supporting one of the factions. In particular, his support for Syrian dictator Assad and against ISIS in 2015 was important. All operations to make Russia's presence felt in the world and to forge alliances. But it's one war in particular that changes everything. It's 2014. On that occasion, Putin, after the fall of the pro-Russian government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine, launched an undeclared military operation in the Donbass. The operation that will lead Russia to annex Crimea does so by sending fighters, including the Wagner Group. So, basically, in 2014, Putin organized an attack on a neighboring state, annexing a region. And that's without even declaring war. And so began the first economic sanctions on Russia by many states, with the blocking of imports of some Russian products and financial sanctions for companies and personalities close to Putin's government. In any case, Putin had prepared himself, and the sanctions had no effect. We have already seen how much the Russian economy is tied to gas and oil. Putin's strategic key is to make sure that the price of oil rises, and with the outbreak of the new war in Ukraine in 2022, this idea seems to be materializing, at least taking the latest official Russian data at face value, which not everyone considers reliable. Despite the sharp intensification of sanctions, in fact, in 2022, thanks to skyrocketing gas and oil prices, the Russian economy still appears to have done well. GDP rose from $1690 billion in 2019 to $2240 billion in 2022, which, considering the link of Russian GDP to energy prices, is not hard to believe. And despite the fact that the West tries not to buy gas and oil from Russia, There is no shortage of buyers. Turkey, India, China. The Russian economy is also supported by the war, with the construction of ammunition tanks, the cost of the army. Everything contributes to GDP growth. There is also strong control over exporters, and foreign currencies are being stockpiled and used to keep the economy stable, thanks in part to the support of countries such as Turkey. In conclusion, under current conditions, it seems that Putin has managed to achieve a miracle and has been able to face his rivals on the international chessboard. However, the question remains when the war in Ukraine will be over, if Russia manages to reopen itself to the world through competitive economic policies on the free market and maintain current standards. This video ends here, and as always, you can leave a comment to let me know your opinion.